What is up, guys? Today we are going to be putting NFL teams into a tier list based on how they perform through this first half of the season. And right here, we got our tier list. We got grades F, A, B, C, and D, and all our teams down here. But, anyways, let's get started. We're going to start off with the Arizona Cardinals, and we're actually going to put them at B tier because while they may not be exactly winning games, they have been super competitive in all of their games, especially with Jacoby Brissett under center. He's done way better than Kyler Murray. This Cardinals team looks way better ever since they made the quarterback change, and they announced he's going to start in Week 10. I mean, these past few weeks, they've almost beat the Colts and the Packers, and they just beat the Cowboys. And I mean, while they've been close in all the other games too with Kyler Murray, this team just looks way better with Jacoby Brissett. They're a sneaky team, I think, and they're not a pushover team, especially. So I think teams need to watch out for this team, especially if Jacoby Brissett is playing. Next, we got the Atlanta Falcons. We're going to put them at C tier. They've been super inconsistent. They've been a very up and down team, and they kind of look like they're kind of in the dumps right now because one day they get blown out by the Panthers, and then the next week they're beating the Bills, and then they're staying close with the Patriots, and then the next thing they're getting blown out by the Dolphins. I mean, I don't know what to say about this team. This offense is super inconsistent for one, and the defense, while they look good on paper, while they look good statistically, and they play better than what they look on paper, um, they're doing really well right now. But it's just not enough. The offense needs to stay more consistent. We don't really know if Michael Penix is exactly the guy. Raheem Morris, I definitely don't think is a great coach. I think he probably needs to be fired. But the Atlanta Falcons are sitting at 3-5 right now. I don't see him making the playoffs with this inconsistency so far. So I'm gonna leave him at C tier at the moment. Next, we got the Baltimore Ravens. Now, this is a tricky one, but I'm gonna put them at B tier because I started out 1-5. They started out rough. They've had injuries all over the place to start out the season, but they are now currently 3-5 with two straight wins. I mean, they're playing better. They are, but I would be honest. I don't see them making this big playoff push that they still have to go on. I mean, they have an easy schedule. Don't get me wrong; they could definitely beat a majority of these teams and get themselves in a better record, a better spot. But I just don't see it. I mean, they still got to play the Steelers, the Packers, the Patriots, and I mean they have the Steelers twice. They have the Vikings this coming week. I mean, I just don't see how they are going to come back from this really horrendous start. Not saying it's not possible. I just don't see it happening. But they've played pretty well these past couple weeks, so I'll leave them at B tier. Next, we got the Buffalo Bills. We're going to put them at A tier because while they're 6-2, they've been good. They haven't been perfect. They lost to the Falcons. They've had a little bit of an iffy. They've had a little bit of some ifs to start out the season. I mean, but these past couple weeks they stepped it up with a win against the Chiefs and James Cook absolutely running all over the Panthers to dominate them. Thing is, I could see it getting better, but there's a lot of flaws. There's not a lot of playmakers on this team, which makes it hard to get to the Super Bowl when you don't really have that. And they didn't really make any moves at the trade deadline either this past day. So I'm gonna leave them at A tier. They are still Super Bowl contenders, but I'm gonna be honest. It's with how they've been playing to start out this season, and I just don't know. Next, we got the Carolina Panthers. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna put them at C tier. While they are 5-4 and doing way better than I expected, they haven't exactly had anything that's been proving worthy to me. I mean, they lost to the Cards, the Jags, the Patriots, and then they got dominated by the Bills the other week. And their only wins are against the Falcons, Dolphins, Cowboys, Jets, and I guess the Packers, which are pretty good. But outside of that Packers win, I haven't seen anything that's necessarily impressed me so far. I mean, all they've done is beat bad teams and lose pretty bad to good ones. So I'm just not convinced that they're really as good. I mean, they're doing better than I expected, don't get me wrong. But I don't really see them being the 5-4 team that they really are. One thing I am going to switch. I'm actually going to put the Cardinals at C tier. Maybe it's not fair if I put a 5-4 team in C tier and a 3-5 team in B tier. So maybe we'll leave it at that. Next, we got the Bears. I'm gonna put them at B tier too. I'm kind of gonna make the same case I did with the Panthers. I mean, they're 5-3 right now. They've looked way better offensively with Ben Johnson as their coach, but again, not a lot of wins that have impressed me. I mean, they beat the Cowboys, they beat the Raiders, they beat the Commanders, they beat the Saints, they beat the Bengals in a big shootout. I mean, nothing that really impressed me. I mean, yeah, they beat the Bengals. They was able to somehow beat Joe Flacco's first 400-yard game, but they lost to a Tyler Huntley led Ravens team. They got dominated by the Lions, and they lost to a JJ McCarthy led Vikings, who only played good for one quarter in that game. So I mean, they're kind of on fraud watch for me, and it doesn't really get easier because they got the Vikings, Eagles, Steelers, Packers, and actually the Packers twice, and then the Lions again coming up for the rest of the season. So I don't really see them doing anything crazy the rest of the season. They're kind of on my fraud watch. They're playing good offensively right now, but they still got a lot of work. Next, we got the Bengals. They're going in C tier. They're 3-6. They're playing well offensively, especially with Joe Flacco now. But this Bengals team is not going to do anything this season or anytime soon in the following seasons to come if they do not fix their problems at offensive line and their defense. Uh, as long as they still have a terrible defense like they do now and a pretty bad offensive line like they do now, then they're going to stay at this kind of level of team forever. The offense cannot just win you games. You have to have a defense. And the Bengals just, I guess, do not understand that. So, I mean, the 3-6 are playing well offensively. I mean, they've been in games, but they keep losing games. I mean, they lost to the Jets, for Christ's sake. So, I'm going to leave them at C tier because it's not going to get easier. They play the Steelers, Patriots, Ravens, Bills, Ravens again. And yeah, it's just not going to get any easier for the Bengals. Next, we got the Browns. We're going to have our first D tier team, as we probably expected. I mean, the Browns stink. They're 2-6. The offense stinks completely outside of Juckins and I guess Jerry Judy. And I guess they're two tight ends. But yeah, they're just young. They're waiting to build a winning roster. They're not contending right now. So, I mean, I guess we expected this. So. Next, we got the Dallas Cowboys at C tier. The only reason they're not lower is because of how perfect their offense has played all season. Even though the offense itself hasn't even played that well these past couple of games against the Broncos and the Cardinals, but they played perfect. Other than that, from Dak Prescott playing MVP football to George Pickens and CD Lamb playing like the best receiver duo in the league to Javonte Williams playing pretty solid ball so far. But outside of that, everything else stinks. The defense stinks. The coaching stinks. Yeah, anything that's not the offense stinks. Okay, especially Matt Eberflus. But the thing is, the Cowboys need to understand the same thing as the Bengals. If you don't have a defense, you're not going to get far. I mean, the offense can only do so much. And what happens when the offense plays bad? Then guess what? You can't rely on your defense, so you're more than likely going to lose the game, especially when the offense has a bad game. And they're 3-5-1 right now, and the only impressive thing they've done, I guess, is tie with the Packers. Outside of that, I haven't been impressed with this team outside of the offense. And even with trading with even trade for Quentin Williams and Logan Wilson, it's not going to do much for them, especially defensively. So I'm going to leave them at C tier for now because it's probably not going to get any better. Next, we got the Denver Broncos up at A tier. I mean, how can you not put them at A tier? They're 7-2. They're sitting at the top of their division, which is a really difficult division. They're currently on a 6-game winning streak. All right, they beat the Eagles. I mean, they almost beat the Colts. They should have beat the Colts. They barely lost against the Chargers, and like I said, they've looked impressive defensively, at least. Their defense is one of the top defenses in the league, period. There's no doubt about it. The offense is a little bit mid, but it's good enough to get the job done, I guess. So that's the one. That's really the only concern I have is their offense and how mid they've looked as this far. Besides when they scored 33 points in the single quarter, which was really impressive, by the way. But yeah, the Denver Broncos, they're playing really good football as of right now. 6 game winning streak, 7-2, on top of the AFC West. But they got to keep up this competitiveness. They got to keep the offense going strong. They got to keep the defense being strong. And they could possibly make a run in the playoffs, maybe. Next, we got the Detroit Lions. I'm gonna put them at A tier. They played pretty well football all year. They proved that they kind of didn't need Ben Johnson or Aaron Glenn. They're doing just fine without them. 5-3, second in the NFC North, just behind the Packers. So they played pretty well football. They've dominated about almost all their opponents. Sure, they had a tough loss against the Vikings last week and had a tough loss against the Chiefs a couple of weeks ago. But outside of that, they've done pretty well. They got a little bit of a tough schedule coming up. They got the Eagles coming up, which I'm very interested to see. They got the Packers coming up. They got the Rams and Steelers later in the season, and the Vikings again. So I'm very excited to see what they do in this second half of the season. But yeah, they're playing pretty well football right now. We're going to leave them at A tier. Next, we got the Packers. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to put them at B tier. The Packers have looked really suspect so far this season. I mean, yeah, they've got some wins. They got against the Lions and the Steelers, some pretty good wins, but they lost to the Browns. They tied against the Cowboys. They let the Bengals and the Cardinals kind of keep up with them, and especially since they lost to the Carolina Panthers at home. Jordan Love has kind of proved that his decision making has not improved that much still. The offense still kind of looks a little eh. The defense, the secondary especially outside of Xavier McKinney is looking a little eh. Um, I mean, their defensive line kind of carries that defense, and their defense, especially their secondary, has not looked as good as you would expect it to. But the Packers are suspect to me. Maybe they could turn around. They got the Eagles. They got the Eagles, the Vikings, Lions, and the Bears twice, plus the Broncos and the Vikings again. So if they can show me a little bit more on the second half of the season, we will switch the Packers to A tier. But for now, they're going to stay in B tier. We got the Texans in C tier. Really great offense. I mean, not great offense, really great defense. One of the best defenses in the league with one of the worst offenses. I mean, what can you do? That offense has been terrible. CJ Stroud is in purgatory over there. He is in offensive purgatory over there. That offensive coordinator ain't good, and the offense around them outside of Nico isn't really good either. So he's kind of just doomed. I mean, after starting 0-3, they've kind of had a little bit of a jump back to 3-5, but that's mainly because the defense is absolutely elite and the defense has kept them in these games. Alrighty. So I think the Texans could possibly jump back if the offense can get together, but I don't see that happening. It was the same exact way last year, except it's worse. The offense is worse now. So like I said, they're going to stay at C tier. I don't really see them doing much more this season, but their defense is one of the best in the league with one of the worst offenses. So, I mean, what can you do if you're the Texans for right now? We got our first S tier team, the Indianapolis Colts. Uh, I'm not gonna lie, it's still so mind boggling that Daniel Jones led Colts is sitting at the top of the AFC and on the S tier list on this list. Honestly, I at the beginning of the season we all thought the Colts were going to be terrible, but I guess they proved us wrong. What was it? They were like the most efficient offense of all time, or something like that. It was something mind-boggling like that. But I mean, we can't lie; they're playing really good football. Daniel Jones is playing really great football. Jonathan Taylor is playing excellent football. Michael Pittman and Alec Pierce are two great wide receivers this season, and the defense is playing absolutely great as well. I mean, you can't deny that the Indianapolis Colts are a possible contender for the Super Bowl. I don't see them going to the Super Bowl. Maybe that's just me still processing that Daniel Jones is actually good this year and have led the Colts to 7-2 on top of the AFC. But even then, I just don't see it happening. Maybe they can make a run, but I don't think they're. I don't think Super Bowl is as far as they go. But they are one of the best teams in the league right now. They're playing absolutely perfect football, even if they did lose to the Steelers and the Rams just closely, and Daniel Jones played bad. But they're playing perfect football. They're one of the best teams in the league. We got to keep them in this tier. Next, we got the Jags. I'm putting them at C tier. I mean, they started out promising, especially after their win against the Chiefs. But I'm not gonna lie, it's looked mid. It's looked so mid. I mean, they looked promising to start out with, and now, I mean, they weren't very competitive with the Seahawks. They got absolutely dog walked by the Rams without Puka Nakua, and they just barely beat the Raiders. And not only that, Trevor Lawrence looks mid. The offense kind of itself looks mid. Brian Thomas is having a down year. Travis Hunter hasn't done a significantly a lot. Uh, Travis Etienne started out promising, and his production's kind of hit a decline as of this far. I mean, they've just looked so mid. I mean, they're 5-3. They're in a pretty good spot, I guess. But these past few games, they've been mid. They just need to get it together all around. They just traded for Jacoby Myers, so hopefully that helps the offense. But we'll see. I'm going to leave them at C tier for how mid they've been playing these past few weeks. Next, we got the Chiefs in B tier. Let's be honest, this is not the same Kansas City Chiefs team that we've seen in the past. I mean, they lost to the Bills, I mean, as they usually do in the regular season. And I mean, they beat the Lions, yeah, but they also lost to the Jaguars, they lost to the Eagles, they lost to the Chargers. I mean, I haven't been impressed with what I've seen this season. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, I'm convinced Patrick Mahomes is not the best quarterback in the league anymore. Well, at least for right now. But yeah, this Chiefs team hasn't played entirely well, especially offensively. Defensively, they've been kind of playing fine. But um, yeah, this Chiefs team is on a down year. They're 5-4. They're not even seeing in the playoff spot right now. And not only that, they got some tough games coming up. They still got the Broncos twice. They got the Chargers again. They got the Texans. They got the Colts. Yeah, they got some tough games remaining, and it's not going to be easy for them. So I definitely don't see them winning this division. That's for sure. Next, we got the Chargers. I've seen them play enough perfect football to put them at A tier. They have been a little bit poofy this season, but they've had a lot of injuries, especially with the Joe Alt injury just happened, and they've lost him for the season. And the defense having their fair share of injuries too, but they've worked around it. They've played perfect football offensively. Justin Herbert, he's been a little bit more turnover prone this season than what we've seen in his entire career, but he's still playing absolutely perfect football. The offense keeps producing, no matter what injury comes across them, but they're playing good football despite all their problems and holes that they have. And I think that's good enough for me to say A tier. They're currently second in the division, 6-3. They just beat the crap out of the Vikings. I mean, they're playing good football. They're playing absolutely good football. They're just a game behind the Broncos, and that's all they need to get back into the division. They just need the Broncos loss, and they're back in that division with them holding the tiebreaker over the Broncos. I mean, this team may be injured, but they're still doing damage, so that's an A tier for me. This might be hot, but the Rams are going in S tier. I mean, you cannot sit here and say they're not playing perfect football. I mean, they're playing perfect offensively. They're playing perfect defensively. I mean, you can't sit here and tell me they're not. I mean, Matthew Stafford has been absolutely balling out, six in passing yards. He has probably the best touchdown interception ratio in the league with 21 touchdowns, two interceptions, and not only that. Kyron Williams has been absolutely balling. Puka Nakua is making a good case for Offensive Player of the Year. Devontae Adams is an absolute touchdown machine, and that defense is an absolute unit so far this year. They've played perfect football. They're just tied with the Seahawks for the NFC West. I mean, this team is dangerous, and I feel like they ain't getting talked about enough. But I feel like they could definitely run away with this division. They could definitely still steal it from the Seahawks, and I feel like they could possibly make a big playoff run. They're playing absolutely perfect football right now. Next, we got the Raiders again, D tier team. They've looked awful. Geno Smith has been terrible. In fact, they've been so terrible that it's affecting their star players. Their offensive line won't even allow Genty to hardly do anything. Although he has been picking it up recently, he's had himself a hard time. And so has Brock Bowers, despite his injury problem. And the defense stinks too, outside of Max Crosby. Thing is, they're just in a tough spot. I don't know why they traded a whole third round pick for Geno Smith. They're just delaying the inevitable. I don't know what they were thinking. The Raiders are terrible. Next, we got my Dolphins again, D tier. They've gotten whooped. You know it's bad when you're getting butt whooped by the Cleveland Browns. I mean, what do I say about them? They're terrible. Tua sucks. Our offensive line sucks. Um, The only thing that's really good on our offense is our pass catchers. I mean, Achan's a beast. Waddle's a beast. Waller, when he plays, is a beast, I guess. The defense kind of stinks too, especially the secondary. Uh, we can't protect the pass. Our secondary absolutely stinks. We can't stop the run. We can't really do anything. I mean, the Dolphins stink. It's no secret. They're definitely getting a D tier. The Vikings are going in B tier. JJ McCarthy actually came out and played like a top 10 pick against the Lions this past Sunday. But I'm going to leave it at B tier until I see that more because really, the whole team's perfect. I mean, they have a run game, they have an offensive line, they have great pass catchers, they have elite pass catchers, they have a great defense. I mean, I've said it before, I'll say it again. They are just a quarterback away from being a perfect team. And if JJ McCarthy can keep playing like that and keep beating these great teams, then I will surely move them up to A tier. They will be an A tier team. But for right now, I've only seen that once out of like the 3 games he's played. So he is going to stay at B tier for right now, but this could definitely change. Next, we got the Patriots. They're going to go in A tier. They're 7-2, and on top of the AFC East, they're playing really great football, especially Drake May. Um, but the thing is, the reason why they are in A tier and not S tier, I mean, while they've played perfect football on both ends, offensively and defensively, well, kind of defensively, outside of the Bills, they haven't had any great wins. They've kind of beat up on bums. I mean, I can switch them to S tier. I will switch them to S tier when I see them get more great wins against teams on the caliber of the Bills. But they do have the Buccaneers coming up, so I guess we'll see what they're like. And plus, they got the Bills again, but they got a really easy schedule. So, I mean, it's hard to really judge this team. But for right now, they're playing perfect football, and I can't deny that, no matter who they're playing. But for now, I'm going to leave them at A tier. Next, I'm gonna do 2 and 1 here. I mean, because it's no secret, the Saints and the Jets. I mean, both one-win teams, both teams competing for the number one overall pick. Especially since the Jets just traded away 2 of their star players, and the Saints, who don't really have any star players, just a bunch of aging old heads, I guess you could say. They're building a retirement home over there, and they suck. I mean, Spencer Rattler was so bad that he got replaced for Tyler Show, however you pronounce his name. But they both stink. There's no secret. They're 1-7 teams. Well, 1-8 teams. Saints are 1-8. Jets are 1-7. They're both garbage, and they're both contending for the number one overall pick. Not much to say about them. They are stinky garbage. Next, we got the Giants. This is a team that I thought was going to be on the rise this season, and do a little bit better after starting 0-3, especially when they put Jackson Dart in. But I mean, they kind of just lost them all momentum after that Broncos loss. I mean, they now have three straight losses. They lost Cam Scatterboo for the year. Yeah, this team has just completely lost all its momentum after looking like they could have possibly snuck into the playoffs, maybe. But this team is kind of doomed this year. Maybe next year they could be a very good team. But for now, they've lost all their momentum. They're not doing anything this season. I mean, I thought they would have, especially if they beat the Broncos. I definitely thought they could have sneaked their way in there. But now three straight losses at 2-7 at the bottom of the division. Yeah, I definitely say that nothing is going to happen this year. But the future is looking promising for them. That's for sure. Next, we got the Eagles. The Eagles are going in S tier as well. I mean, again, can't deny that they're playing perfect football. They got humbled a few weeks ago against the Broncos and the Giants, but as far as it goes, they've corrected it. They've corrected the defense. I mean, they've made trades. They just traded for Jalen Phillips, Jair Alexander, and Michael Carter, which will help that terrible secondary outside of Quinion Mitchell. So they traded for some corners to upgrade their corner room, which was really good because Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson stink. And they got the pass game corrected, which was a big disadvantage for their team going into the season and throughout the first few weeks. But after that Broncos and Giants game, they stepped it up. They've stepped it up and looked like the team they're supposed to look. Uh, Saquon has looked better these past couple weeks. Jalen Hurts' passing game has looked better these past couple weeks as well. The offense is flowing better. The defense, I'm pretty sure the defense will look better with Michael Carter and Jair Alexander because it would be really hard to look worse than Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson. But they're playing perfect football right now. They're a Super Bowl contender, no doubt. They got a tough schedule coming up, but I feel like they can win against most of these teams. They're going in this tier. They're a top tier team in this league by far. Next, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm gonna put them in the A tier. Honestly, this team is sitting at on top of the AFC North. They're 5-3. They're currently the fourth seed in the playoffs right now. And I mean, offensively, they're playing pretty good football. Offensively, they're playing really good football. But it's the defense that I have a problem with. This defense has not looked as good as they should be. And it's no secret. Now, they finally showed up and played way better against the Colts and beat the Colts, which is kind of a big reason they're in A tier right now because the defense finally stepped up. But I don't know what it's been about that defense all season long. I don't know if it's that defensive coordinator, or if it's just the players kind of getting old and washed. It's one of the two. I really don't know who to pin it on, but when their defense plays as perfect as they should, be playing, then this is a dangerous team. This is a Super Bowl contending team. But for right now, they're going to send A tier until I see that defense play like they did against the Colts. Once I see that more consistently, then I can arguably maybe put them up in this tier. But for right now, they're going to sit at A tier. They're playing perfect football, but they're not playing absolutely perfect football. So we're going to leave them at A tier for right now. And talk about a team that's playing good football. Let's go to the Seattle Seahawks, who are currently 6-2 on top of the NFC West. Um, Sam Darnold has played perfect football. This offense has played perfect football. JSN looks like an absolute monster. They have a great run game. The offensive line is playing way better than they should be, and the defense is kind of playing out of their minds as well. I mean, they've got together over there in Seattle. I thought this team was going to be super mid going into the season. I thought Sam Darnold was going to take a step back, but turns out I thought wrong. And they are playing absolute perfect football right now. They're 6-2. They've got good wins over the Steelers, the Jags, and I guess I guess they almost beat the Bucks, but I mean, you can't deny that they're playing good football right now. If they keep it up, then they could make a run as well. I mean, a lot of teams can make a run, but this is one of them. They are currently 6-2. They are sitting at my A tier. Now, I kind of don't want to do it, but I gotta put the Niners at A tier as well. I don't know how Kyle Shanahan does it. I don't know how this coaching staff does it. They have missed multiple guys. They lost Mikael Williams the other day to a torn ACL. They lost Nick Bosa. They lost Fred Warner for the year. What else? Bryce Huff is injured. I know that. They don't have Brock Purdy. They don't have Brock Purdy. They don't have Brandon Ayuk. They don't have Ricky Pearsall. They didn't have George Kittle for a while. They have about a big majority of their team out, and they are 6-3. They are playing with backups and practice squad players, and they are currently 6-3, sitting at third in the division right now. They are currently in a playoff spot with all the injuries. That is a testament to how good this coaching staff is. But despite that, they're playing good football with Mac Jones out there. Mac Jones is playing really good football out there, which is really shocking. And not only that, they've got some win. They've got some good wins. All right. I mean, they beat the Rams. They beat the Rams. They beat the Seahawks. I mean, they beat some good teams. I mean, they're pulling it out somehow. I don't know how, but they're somehow pushing through. But I can't deny how good their football are playing, despite all these injuries that they've had. They are sitting at A tier. Another team that has played good, especially with the injury bug, is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They are going to be sitting at A tier as well, 6-2 on top of the NFC North. Uh, Currently, uh, I'm pretty sure top three seed in the playoffs right now. Um, Not gonna lie, the injury bugs hit them too, but they've been able to pull it out. They've missed Chris Godwin, they've missed Bucky Irvin, they've missed Mike Evans for a pretty solid majority of the season, but yet they're still pulling out wins. Almost beat the Eagles, beat the Seahawks, beat the 49ers, and I mean they've looked a little iffy these past couple weeks, but it doesn't matter. They've played good football despite all the injuries. They're pulling through. They're 6-2. They're gonna win this division again for what is it? I believe the fifth straight year. Yeah, the Buccaneers are definitely carrying away this one. The Buccaneers are playing really good football. Baker, like I said, they've looked. The offense has looked iffy for the past couple of weeks, but I believe he's going to pick it up. But yeah, the Bucks are at A tier. We got our final two teams here. The Titans are obviously going to be at D tier. I mean, they've been horrible. This roster's horrible. I mean, Cam Ward, he still has a lot of potential and hope for him, but he has been put in a terrible situation for his rookie year. I believe in him. I still believe in him once he gets a little bit of a better situation around him. Right now, this team is just absolutely terrible. So they're going to be sitting at D tier. Now the Commanders, yeah, D tier. But I mean, right now they're 3-6. Um, the injury bug has probably hit them one of the biggest. I mean, they've lost multiple guys. They just lost Marshawn. They just lost Luke McCaffrey. They're probably going to be without Jaden Daniels for a little while longer. They lost Austin Eckler, Dorrance Armstrong. I mean, they've lost multiple key guys, and it's not going to get any better. Um, they are definitely going to be maybe a 5-win team this season. Uh, Considering how bad it looks. I mean, Terry McLaurin, he's having his injury issues. Like I said, this team is in a bad spot, and it ain't gonna get any better because injuries are a big part of this team and why they are doing so bad. And yeah, they are definitely falling off with these injuries. So they are going to be sitting here at D tier. But this right here is our tier list. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know what you think I got wrong, whether you think I got on spot. But outside of that, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you all next time.